So today we're just going to chat about the post-offer process. So once Tim and Azad take you out, you go house hunting, you find a great property and you write that offer, what happens next? So if you can move that along for me, Tim, please. Thank you. So we're going to gather final documents. So one of the things that we always do before you go house hunting is we do the formal pre-approval to make sure that you're writing an offer in the correct price range, that the mortgage payments you've discussed with Tim and Azad, and you're looking at property taxes, condo fees, if applicable, mortgage payments, et cetera, and making sure the properties you're going to look at are going to cash flow. So that's already done ahead of time. But once you write that offer, some time may have passed. So we're going to get updated employment paperwork if it's needed, updated down payment paperwork if it's needed. You're going to finalize who you're using for your lawyer, what account are you going to have the payments come from. Some people like to open up a separate account for rental properties, things like that. This is where we're going to arrange that. Next slide, please. After that, we are going to chat about options. So this is something we also wait until you write an offer because, are you doing a flip? Are you doing a BRRRR? Is this a long-term hold strategy? What is the intent of the property? So we're going to delve into the conversation about mortgage terms, lenders, rates, privileges, terms, all of that stuff. We're going to choose a lender and we're going to apply. And next step, please. So the lender will then review all the paperwork that we send in. Or I guess, yeah, we'll apply. It takes about 3 to 5 business days for the lender to fully review the application, the supporting documents, and issue the approval. So this is where we just kind of sit and wait patiently. Typically, if you're having a home inspection, it would be done during this time as well. If there's a condo doc review, that would also be being done at this time with Tim and Azad. And next step, the lender review. So when we get that approval back, we really ideally want the documents that we've sent in to be reviewed by the lender. So it really just depends on how busy the market is as to how quickly that gets done. And then an appraisal and market rent. So oftentimes with investor clients, we're dealing with rental purchases, which require appraisals, or we're turning existing properties into rentals. So we're ordering these market rent letters to make sure that we can, see what rental income can we use to help you qualify. So that's when all of this would get done as well. And then we're going to follow up to ensure that the lender's reviewed all the documents and they've been accepted. Your verbal employment job check is done. The appraisal and rents are signed off. And we're going to meet that condition deadline. So when you're writing an offer with Tim and Azad, you're going to have that financing condition in there. And depending on the market, financing can be a little bit quicker, or we might have a little bit more time. So it's really going to depend. When the market was quick, we were 4 or 5 business days and kind of doing everything at once. Now with the market a little bit calmer, we're seeing 5, 7, 10 business days for financing conditions. So this is what we want to have all done before that condition deadline. And then once we give you the go ahead, we're going to also let Tim and Azad know, okay, we've given you as the buyer the go ahead to take the next steps. So they know to send you that waiver form for signing. And next step is once your conditions are waived, we're just going to gather any final technical items. Maybe you hadn't decided on a lawyer yet. Maybe we need a waiver form because you just waived conditions, just small things like that. And then we are going to send you an email that says your financing is complete. Here's what to expect for your next steps in the process, which is getting ready and preparing for your lawyer appointment. So that's things like home insurance, making sure your down payment's available so you can write the check to the lawyer, having your photo ID ready and double checking, making sure it's not expired, little things like that. And then after that, you are going to meet with your lawyer about 1 to 2 weeks before possession to sign all the legal paperwork. So that's where you'll physically go into the office, sign your legal documents, take that legal package home, and then you're really done at that point. And then after that, it's really going to be possession. So on possession day, that mortgage that we've arranged, those funds are going to be released from the lender. They're going to go to the lawyer's office. Your lawyer is going to send them to the seller. And then that's when you can get your keys to the property. So there is a lot of steps to go through. So people wonder, why do we need a financing condition of 5, 7, 10 business days? Why do we need 2, 3, 4 weeks to take possession? This is why, because all of this happens, some of it is front end with you and some of it is back end between the lawyer and the lender and us, but all of this has to happen before possession. So
Okay,
that's a quick
Danielle,
rundown.
I got a question for you. So
Yeah.
I know we've pushed our limits with you time and time again. So um, what is the quickest turnaround you've had, and what is more comfortable with condition days for financing for you?
Yeah, quickest turnaround time is same day.
Right.
I have worked a
Oh,
miracle before and I have turned around an approval same day. Um, It depends really on the busyness of the season and the lenders. If we're going to go with a best rate lender that's offering a rate special, well, of course, they're going to need more time because they're swamped and inundated with applications. So if we really are in competition with a property and we need to do it really quickly, then as buyers, we just need to understand that we might not be able to choose the lowest and best rate available because they just can't accommodate the closing. Sometimes it's a
right.
quick closing or a quick condition deadline. Right now, 5 business days is pretty standard and doable. Like I said, if we're buying a rental or we need an appraisal or we need market rents, we just always prep our clients that we're going to do all of this simultaneously rather than applying, getting the approval back, then ordering rents, then ordering appraisal. We're just doing it all at the same time to expedite the process to make sure we can meet those quicker condition deadlines.
Okay, one more question. What are some of the conditions, the common conditions that you run into that these home buyers have to complete before they're approved?
Yeah, so standard basic ones are always employment. So that's like letter of employment, pay stub, and T4s if you're an employee. It's T1 generals, personal tax returns, notice of assessment, company financials, et cetera. If you're self-employed, always photo ID, void check, lawyer information, and down payment. And down payment's one of those ones. Anti-Money Laundering Act is standard with every lender across Canada. 90 days of bank statements, whether that's investments, RSPs, TFSAs, savings, whatever it may be, wherever it's coming from, 90 days of statements for that. Obviously, the signed offer and the MLS listing. And then again, appraisal market rents if needed. So those are the pretty typical and standard conditions we have to meet. If you own multiple property tax statements, rental agreements, etc.
Okay.
But we do a really good job of gathering the majority before you start house hunting so that when you're ready to pull that trigger, we can work really, really quickly.
So the biggest item to be taken care of by you and the client is just signing off on that commitment from the lender, basically during the conditional period.
Yeah, like we want the big items signed off for condition deadline. So income, sometimes down payment, lots of people have investments. It takes time to cash in. Maybe possession's a little bit further away. We don't want to cash investments in right away. We want to wait till it's a good time in the market. So down payment, we kind of wait on sometimes lawyer, void check, little things like that that are not deal breakers, we can wait on. Employment, appraisal, market rents, things like that are critical because they're out of our control. So we need to make sure that we have those things reviewed and accepted by the lender by that condition deadline.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, thank you for that, Danielle. It's always good to see the process behind the scenes and what happens once us realtors basically hand off our accepted offer to you, and then what happens after that. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and if anybody needs to get a hold of Danielle, her contact info is right there on this page. She will be more than happy to help you out, whether it's buying a new rental property, whether it's refinancing an existing one, whether it's putting a line of credit on your current home to get that down payment for the rental property. She's terrific at anything investment related. So take her number and contact info down and give her a shout.